That's right, boys. Mondo Cool.
Cogzilla 97. Nobody tell John this, but I think Yakuza 7 was a good game. Inquisitor Thomas. I've been a sub for 2 years, and it has been the worst 2 years of my life. Coincidence? I think not. But I'm glad that Wooly's malicious and intentional attempt to detach your retina during your boxing match with him failed. When will his evil be Strike Rich is correct. After a detached retina, the correct course of action is to start an underground MMA fight club with lesbian friends. Lance Corporal Scott Kupaki. At Super Eye Patch Wolf, how would you feel about a Dark Souls remake? Also, how are you doing? Hope you are recovering well. Wolfberry. Ball 5. Hi John, sorry that you can't fight anymore cause of your eye, but I just want to let you know that you are an amazing person no matter what and that we all love you very much.
I first saw Bryan Kohberger in my Minds of a
Good morning, gamers. Welcome back to the Demon Zone. How we doing, everyone? How is it going here on this beautiful Friday morning / afternoon / day, depending on where you are? I am your host, the Final Gamer, also known as John, and I have returned to you. You now need no longer live your nightmarish existence where I am not a part of your Fridays. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. How you feeling, Final Gamer? Oh, let me tell you guys, that was a long 2 weeks. Holy shit. Dramatic eye patch removal. I'm going to say this for your guys' benefit. You do not want this eye patch to come off right now. Okay? This is, there's nothing positive happening under this eye. I promise you that. John changed my broke ass life. Look, I do my best. I'm emo hair. That I haven't been able to go for like a haircut. I can't. See, the reason that emo hair doesn't work for me right now is that if I kind of do the fringe, I just can't see anything. I'm completely blind. So yeah. But yeah, this is what I look like right now. Kind of fucked up, to be honest with you. Great PS2 haircut. But yeah. John, you hiding your Sharon Gannon? No. I think the reveal, if Kakashi took off the eye patch and revealed what I have going on under here, I don't think many people would have made it past Naruto chapter, I don't know, say 12? Was that about when that happens? Man, that was such a good early arc. Why don't you slick it back? So my hair is way too thick. Slick back. I'd love to do the kind of like I don't know, evil stockbroker hair push, but it just kind of goes like this. This sure is a look, isn't it? I don't know what this is. This looks like bad guy in a Pixar movie kind of hair. It does look pretty mad even with the roots. I think I don't love how it's looking right now. I think it's kind of I think it's just too messy right now, but I'm not going to be able to go for a haircut because I can't wait for another little bit. So I'm afraid this is what we got, guys. And Bart Simpson hair. John returns now. My eyes all red. Coincidence? Possibly. Also possibly. Wooly cursed all eyes of Irish ethnicity. Who can know? But no, welcome everyone. Welcome. So oh, Sebi255, that's so sweet. Holy shit. Sorry, I missed the start of that. Hi, John. Don't know if you remember the message from a while back, but I beat cancer. You know, I remember. And went through a lot of really shitty chemo sessions. I was playing some of the old vids and just wanted to say thanks. Man, Sebi, that's fucking awesome, and fair play you for beating cancer. That is so cool, and you're such a goddamn warrior. That got me a little bit right at the start of the stream. God damn it. But yeah. So guys, I've spent 2 weeks lying on my side. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't been allowed to stand up except for 10 minutes every hour, and the rest of the time I literally just have to hear this. And I couldn't really look at stuff either. Like I had to pretty much sit in the dark the entire time. There's some stuff I could look at. I could look at stuff for like kind of like around 40 minutes, and then my eye had just become too sore, and I had to just like just lie there. Oh, that is a weird existence, let me tell you. It's like you just kind of you just kind of lie there, asking the girls. And I am really glad that's over. I am little by little getting my eyesight back, and that's been kind of rad. But yeah, that was one of the strangest 2 weeks of my life. And a part of it is like there wasn't Bird Brainless, thank you for the $10 super chat. Ones for the positive vibes today. Thank you everyone. I'm gonna put the alert box up here. There, and we should be good. There we go. Cool. Audio low or just me? But yeah, it was weird. It was just a really strange 2 weeks. I was like, basically I was in there and like I arrived at the surgery and they told me to like get changed into a gown. And so like I took off my clothes, but like as my clothes were like halfway off, the door opens and a surgeon just kind of walks in, and I kind of like dive under the bed so that no one could see me naked. And then he was like, "Do you mind if we have a consultation?" And I was kind of flustered, and I was like, okay." And then I shit you not, he walks in, and about 8 other fucking surgeons walk in, and they just all stand around the bed, and I'm just sitting, like lying there, naked and afraid, and they just start asking me a bunch of questions, and it was so weird and confusing. I was just sitting there being like, this is exactly how this shit goes whenever I do fucking anything. Wait, I thought your eye was supposed to be healed. Are you explaining why right now? No, the reason my eye isn't healed is because detached retinas are just take forever to heal. I'm not even allowed to like do any exercise or lift any weights for another 3 months, and I still like, right now I get about an hour of eyesight, and then I have to go sit in the dark for a while because my eye just gets too sore. I bet they were students. I think so. Did you like it? I most certainly did not. That sounds like a scene from a type of horror movie you'd love. It sure does. Boss, naked and afraid is your natural state of being. No question. No question. When's the Bible review video? We have delayed the Versus Wolves episode till next week, but we will be recording it, and it should hopefully be out next week. Why were you naked? It was your retina. They tell you to take everything off. I don't know. That you have to wear a gown. I didn't know the healing process was that long. No, me neither. Like, so this is the fucking thing. And look, I'm an idiot. I'm silly. I completely underestimated how serious a detached retina was. I had no clue that it was going to be like this massive drawn out thing. But yeah, that is actually it. This has been like, so I would say I got back from the hospital and I don't remember the first couple of days. I genuinely don't really recall what it was like to come home or any of that stuff. And then there was like a lot of it where like I was just in so much pain that I basically just had to lie there and just do nothing. And that has definitely gotten better, and the pain is like super manageable now. Like up until about 3 days ago, I had to just be on painkillers the entire time. But now I can go like mostly without painkillers. I'm on painkillers right now because I don't want the stream to be me sitting there going, oh, ow, although knowing some of you, you would probably enjoy that. But yeah, I did want to avoid that. It's just a little part of your eye falling off. How bad could it be? I know! That's what I thought. I was like, man, look, it's not actually that big a deal, right? That doesn't sound too far from normal streams, though. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, the plan today, chat, is to kind of just get back into things a little bit. I'm not going to be able to go like the full 3 hours that I usually do, just because like my stamina has been totally fucked. I fall asleep multiple times a day, But or I did until yesterday. Yesterday I was able to stay awake all day, and that was like that I felt like a fucking superhero, let me tell you. But yeah, I did just kind of want to come back and just like catch up with everyone and say hello, cuz I've missed this, you know, like I've really missed making things. I it's made me like, part of the frustration is I just haven't been able to like output. You know, I haven't been able to make anything or like be entertaining for people, and I've really really missed that, and it makes me really happy to be able to do it again. Um and so I did just want to do like a little stream this time and just hang out with people. Is it just because of the meds? I think it's some combination between the meds and just the trauma of. So I'm not 100% for sure, but I think they like took my eye out and then rejigged the back of it and then put my eye back in. And it was, yeah, YouTuber experience is taking a break for the first time. See, this is why I find breaks so hard, because if left to my own devices, I do just want to make stuff, you know? And it's been such a bummer not being able to do that. Your perseverance is why you're my Boku no Hero. Thank you, I guess. You don't say it like that. Okay, look, this is something that's kind of bothered me. Just bothered me just the tiniest little bit. I remember I put out a picture. I had like the eye patch off in a recent video because I figured, look, there's still some people who seem to think this is some kind of bit. I'll just take off the eye patch for a little bit, and there was a significant. Eek. Okay, I'll read some subscriptions out in a minute. But basically, like, there was people who are kind of like, oh, it really bothers me seeing that eye, and my feeling on that personally was, oh, that must be really hard for you. You know, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the well wishes. It was, thank you. Gotta remind the AI what John looks like without the iPad. I feel like my thumbnail, like, not that I would ever use like AI thumbnails again, but like, I feel like my AI thumbnails, if that was something I was going to like continue with, are just going to be fucked forever, because now the AI has just absorbed that I have an eye patch, and that's it. How confident are you that your eye is not going to just pop out of its socket one day? I mean, it could. It could. Some people just roll with zero empathy all the time. I think that's a part of it. But I think there is also another kind of person on the internet where it's like they are so internet pilled that they just don't believe anything. Because I've seen people still be like, I still think it's a bit. I still think this is like going somewhere. And I feel like I have run out of ways to convince people that it is in fact not a bit, and that my eye was sore, and that's the bit. You know? But hell of a way to go for a bit. I mean, at this point, my commitment would be legendary. But no, this is not a bit. This is just my skull now. This has been what's happening. It was a bit, you'd use the other eye, because then at least it would light. Yeah, I know. Imagine if it was, though. The reveal would be legendary, but the reveal would have to like mean something, right? Like it would have to. It wouldn't be enough to just be like, I lied to you all. It would have to be like, oh, we actually we did something with that. We said something. You're an Ivysaur. Ivysaur. That's from Tutti Kiwi. Mods find Tutti Kiwi's location and ruin their lives. Some people will believe it's a bit no matter what. Poisoned by the internet. But here's the thing, like, here's one of the reasons that like I've been like kind of nervous about talking about this online and stuff. It's because there has been like a serious like history of like content creators faking illness for different reasons. Now personally, I don't know why you would fake illness, because I just think like unless you just really crave sympathy, it's just so strange, you know, like it's such a weird thing to do. And from Jiko Kuro, thank you for the subscription. Doctor, you'll never be able to fight again. John, I see. Well, I have to go home and read my Bible. Doctor, I understand. John, no, not like that. Yeah. Once your eye is better, you should start a stream finally symmetrical again and show your face cam with 2 eye patches on. Man, so here's the thing as well. I'm not gonna know for a while how successful the procedure actually was. Like, it's not even guaranteed that my peripheral vision is gonna come back. And I thought I'd know by now, but it turns out that I don't. It's just gonna take a minute. Which is weird. This whole thing has just like, all of it has taken so much longer and been so much harder than I thought it would be. I really thought that like I would go in and that they would just like USB plug in my eye back together, and then I would go home, reluctantly rest for a week while consuming all my favorite media, and then get straight back into content creation. In reality, it's been 2 weeks and I am starting to like make stuff again, but it has taken this long, and it has been like just this constant cycle of like thinking I'm better and then immediately needing to go to bed and then just like continuing with that. So it's been frustrating, but like I'm happy to be feeling better. And I guess, you know, one thing I wanted to say was like, I do really appreciate how much people like showed out, you know. I was like really touched by like the level of just support and like kindness I got online from people. I just heard from like absolutely everybody, and it was cool, you know, because it's like that could have been a really lonely time the last 2 weeks. Like it was when all you can do is lie there, you know, and you can't go see your friends, not even well enough to do like a Skype call with someone, that kind of way. That could have been really lonely. But like, you know, I got a bunch of nice messages from fans and stuff like that. But I also just like, you know, my friends in real life showed up, you know, like I got calls and visits and messages from like a lot of people. That was really sweet. I want to shout out Rachel and Natalie and Austin, who sent me like a giant bouquet of flowers, which was really sweet. I also want to shout out Brian and Rebecca, who came over and gave me a bunch of presents. Then Sudden Mango, other Rebecca, who was featured in the Shenmue stream, she dropped by and she gave me some flowers. And that's nice, because that's only like my 3rd time ever getting flowers. And people should buy their homies flowers. It's a sweet thing. And yeah, you know, it was really cool. And it's, you know, the person earlier who mentioned about rewatching old videos during their chemo, like obviously what I went through was not as serious as chemo, but at the same time, like I was so fucking bored for parts of it, because there was parts of it where like I couldn't do anything, you know. I just had to lie there and basically tank the pain from the eye, which like when it was bad was literally like having like glass in your eye. Like it felt it. Imagine like the worst time someone has like put their finger in your eye or something like that, and then imagine like that sensation just not going away. Like that's what it felt like. And sometimes you take painkillers and sometimes that would help, and sometimes they wouldn't. You know, sometimes you would just kind of have to lie there and just groan, and that was it. But then like, you know, there was a couple of times then where it's like, say like I was listening to, like, Nextlander would put up a podcast, you know, Vinny and Alex, and the relief of that podcast popping up on my feed, and it's like, okay, I can put this on for the next hour and a half. Like, this helps so much. Nitro Rad just put out a video for the first time in ages, and like, seeing a Nitro Rad video pop up on my timeline was like so fucking such a huge relief. You know what I mean? And it kind of, in a weird way, reaffirmed why I stream and why I make videos, and, like, you know, the regular iPatch Wolf videos, the Super iPatch Wolf videos, and all that kind of stuff, because I get the comfort that it can bring you when shit isn't going great. Like, I understand that a little better now, you know? And I think sometimes, especially with regular iPatch Wolf videos and, like, these streams, I don't really watch streamers, you know? And so I've always been at a little bit of a loss as to why so many people show up for these streams. Like, we have, like, across both platforms, we have like 1,200 people here now, which is fucking bananas. And it's, I get it. I get why you're here, kinda, to distract you from the misery of life, and I will try and do that a little bit now. I got ketchup in my eye once. That really sucked. I've actually done that before, Sarah 304, and it does suck. It would be very John if the Termina update had dropped the same day. So I was, like, legit so scared the Termina update was going to drop. Because here's my promise to you guys, right? The moment that I learn the Termina update drops, I will be trying to make my way back to this PC so that we can play the Termina update together. The moment I learn it happens, I will be... Now, maybe I won't be able to get right there. Maybe it'll take a couple of hours. But ideally, I want to stream the Termina update immediately because I want to be on the front line of that new Fear and Hunger exploration team. Hey man, your streams increase my work productivity tenfold. Thank you. Also, Michelle got me this fancy bottle, and I can just... sustenance, water. But yeah, and I guess that's, you know, that's another thing I want to mention. Just Michelle, my wife, like, she went full on nurse wife for the last 2 weeks, and she was absolutely incredible. It was one of those things where it's like, man, I am so fucking lucky I have this little woman in my life, you know? Because, like, just... she basically, like, put her life on hold for 2 weeks and just nursed my sad carcass back to health. And she's just the absolute best. And I love her so, so much. And, you know I talk about Michelle, like, a little bit here and there, but I did just want to talk about, like, on this stream, like, goddamn, that little lady, like, she is my hero, and it was so fucking cool to just have her there. I think the best thing I could say about Michelle in the last 2 weeks is, like, she made the last 2 weeks okay. Those last 2 weeks were fine, and they should have been an absolute nightmare, you know? So it was so, I'm so fucking lucky to have her. Like, goddamn. Super Eye Patch wife. Yeah, no, she's the best. The new comic nurse wife and spooky-eyed husband. Yeah, she also started referring to me as her spooky-eyed husband, which is not unreasonable given my current physical appearance. Seemed okay, studio. Michelle makes my life fine. So the context there, Michelle makes my life fine when it should be the worst 2 weeks of my life. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to say that anything could have made the 2 weeks I just experienced, like, amazing. Nothing could have. But having her there upgraded it from, like, a 2 out of 10 to a solid 6 and even sometimes 7 out of 10. And I just appreciate the hell out of that. Context is for cowards, no argument. Dreamer says wife makes life bearable. Okay, look, as per usual, the nuance of my immaculate communication has been lost. But that's fine. That's okay. Damn it, chat. I know. I don't know why I put up with this. But I was able to consume some media over the course of the last week. I didn't really get to do a whole lot the first week. And you know, some of it was good. And some of it has me deeply disappointed in people. Talk about it. Okay, so what media did I experience over the last little while? I replayed the entirety of A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And man, that was an interesting experience because I haven't played that game in like forever. Like, I would say maybe 2 decades. And I wanted something that I could kind of like jump in and out of, something that wasn't like overly visually complex, and something that I could play in like 30 to 20 minute bursts. And I did. And that was interesting because my big question while playing A Link to the Past was, is this game going to hold up? Is this game going to be as absolutely fucking magical as it was when I played it like years ago? And when I first played Link to the Past, like, here's how old I am, everybody. I got Link to the Past for Christmas when it came out. That's a conscious memory of mine, okay? And I got it the Christmas after I got a Super Nintendo. And it was the biggest fucking deal back then. Like, you playing A Link to the Past was so far ahead of anything else out back then. It was just like an insanely lavish and beautiful game. And playing it now, it very quickly becomes apparent like why it's such a big deal. Because one of the biggest things I'd say about it is like it's an incredibly reactive game. And what I mean by that is like when you do anything in that game, the game gives you like this immaculate feedback that you've done something. So what am I talking about? So when you like swipe your sword along like a random patch of grass, the grass cuts and all of a sudden it's like the grass petals are like spraying everywhere. And then you realize you can do that to every piece of grass and you can just go around and do it. You can lift up the bushes and toss them and watch them just explode in these like little explosions of leaves. You can ram trees and fruit falls out of them. You know, it's like so much of like your own actions have been taken into account, coded and designed to make you feel like you're actually doing them. And it's fucking cool. You know, it's like you can charge up your sword and all of a sudden you move a little bit slower because Link is like, he's tensing up his body, getting ready to unleash this big spin attack. And it feels like amazing. It also has one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard for a video game to this day. The dungeon theme is such a fucking banger. It's so good. How is this live? Shouldn't he be recovering? I'll fucking tell you when I should be recovering. Average Joe 6617. And so yeah, one of the biggest things about Link to the Past just feels incredible. Even just like so I have always this thing with video games, right? When you do like your primary verb in a video game, whether it's shoot, punch, jump, or talk, that should feel immaculate. That should feel incredible. And if you boot up Link to the Past and you just swipe the sword, the feedback is so instantaneous. The way it affects different things, like it knocks your opponent back, it also knocks you back a little bit. There's like a little bit of physical feedback there. It all just feels so good. And so like even if you're not doing anything, even just like dicking around in Link to the Past feels incredible. It feels so good. And so, like, I think one of the reasons that people love that game so much is it just genuinely feels amazing to play. Like, even little touches, like when you charge up the sword and you walk over to a rock and you just start tapping the rock with your sword, it feels so good. The overall theme, it's amazing. And it's like the Pat method. If the jump makes me feel like ugh, I put it down. Totally, yeah, completely. And so like playing A Link to the Past was like fucking such like it was so good, and it was so immediately like, especially in the first half of that game, there's so much effort gone into every single little part of it. Like it's such a beautifully constructed little game. Like you go to get the Master Sword, and there's all these individually animated little animals that are all like running around the Master Sword, and they're all like, you know, like just frolicking, and it's like you don't see any of those animals in any other part of the game. They just exist for that moment. And that's what we talk about when we talk about like design and shit that's timeless. Effort is timeless. You know, like consciously trying to make the player feel a certain way. It doesn't matter that the game was made fucking, I don't know, like 30 years ago or whatever it was now. What matters is that it still has that effort. It's still trying to make you feel those ways. I'd also say Link to the Past, some of the best boss battles in Zelda history. The boss of the 4th dungeon, the weird glowing orange monster with like the mask that you have to smash off with a hammer. Amazing. So good. And so like I had such a good time going back to Link to the Past. But what I will say is there are parts that you can see that it's aged. And there are parts where you can really see how Ocarina of Time was this like evaluation of what Zelda was and how to make it more of like an experience and how to make it more of a thing. Biggest example of this, the dungeons, okay? There's some great dungeons in Link to the Past, and there's some fucking aggravating ass dungeons in Link to the Past. And what I mean by that is like there's a lot of dungeons where basically they have more or less the same tile set. The dungeons don't really look distinct from one another. Now they all have like unique gameplay things, which is really cool, but the aesthetic, and I would say critically the music, it never changes, and it makes a lot of the dungeons feel quite samey. And that's because just back then, I think that atmosphere and a sense of place, they weren't really thinking about that in terms of dungeon design. Now, they were thinking about it in terms of like Mount Doom or like the village or the forest or Zora's Domain or all this kind of stuff. But that kind of like aesthetic sense of being somewhere, it doesn't really extend into the dungeons. I would say a lot of the dungeons feel really, really samey in that game. And I would also say that like the later ones especially, they're fucking like hard in a way that is not always enjoyable, in that you kind of have to solve the same puzzles and go through the same gauntlet every time you die. And they're not laid out in a way where you can quickly get back to where you were if you die. So sometimes like losing to the boss of a dungeon means literally going back to the start of the dungeon and having to redo a ton of shit. And some shit stays solved and some shit doesn't. And that can be really, really aggravating. Now granted, I was playing a lot of this on my side with the Wii controllers, or the Wii, the Switch 2 controller, and so like I think I couldn't really like get my bearings there too much, and that was kind of frustrating, you know, that because like the controls are imprecise on that thing, and I think that contributed to that. But I would say, like, that's my only real criticism of Link to the Past. That's the only kind of thing that I really kind of came away from being. I just don't think that some of the later dungeons hold up, whereas I think the early ones do, and the early ones don't outstay their welcome. But overall, like, I still think it's a phenomenal fucking video game. And when you look at what video games were back then, and you look at how Link to the Past evolved that, it's still incredible. Like, it's a dramatic leap forward for what games were, and it's still so foundational. I will also say it's a lot more Dark Soulsian than you might think. That game actually is quite difficult and quite like tricky in spots, and there's a lot of points where like enemies get thrown at you and they will fuck you up if you let them. Like, you have a very low invulnerability window when you get hit, and so it's very easy for enemies to just clump up on you and just like rip off your hearts in a way that like modern Zeldas just don't do. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I do really like Ganon's Tower in that game. Ganon's Tower is brutal, but yeah, it's good. But yeah, that's the first piece of media I want to talk about. Second, I read a book called Hell House. This is one of the kind of quintessential modern late haunted house horror novels from the late 2000s. And let me tell you, everyone, it's not a good book. That's a silly fucking book. I don't think I've read a book in a while that was so heavy on the man writes women trope. This is literally, she bounced boobily into the room writing book, and it was like, just, I would say the book wasn't very scary, but every time a woman in that book does anything, it's like, I just want to tell oh, by the way, I wanted to rate Link to the Past. Link to the Past rating on my 7-point scale, I would give it a 6. I would give it a 6 out of 7. If you make a 6-7 joke from that, then please, 6-7 jokes are how I weed people out of my social circle now. But yeah, no, and so when I rate something a 6 out of 7, that is generally like, this is one of the best ones of these I have ever played. You know, like the very height of its genre is kind of how I describe that. So it is that, is it on your top 100 list? It is indeed. Yeah, there we go. Fucking laugh it up, everyone. But yeah, so back to Hell House. Hell House was, I just didn't think it was a very good book. And a lot of it was just like, it's this, the whole kind of crux of the book is kind of between like a psychic and a scientist. And it was this real basic ass, well, they both have a point. And it's like, oh, they don't, you know? And I didn't think the writing was very good. I didn't think any part of it was really scary. The only part of it that I liked was the history of the actual Hell House itself, which was basically, it just sounds like the guy read 120 Days. Oh, that really fucked up book. 120 Days of Sodom, the book about the fucking weird thing that they eventually made a film about. It kind of sounds like he read that he read that book and was like, okay, I am now going to make a haunted house, and that's going to be the backstory. And so yeah, it really was not good. I don't recommend it. I would give it a 2 out of 10. Or 2 out of 7. 2 out of 7 is where I would rate that book. But I then realized that I actually read that book by accident, and the actual book I meant to read is called Devil House, which is like a different book that was recommended to me on the Discord. And so then I proceeded to read Devil Book. I say read, what I'm actually talking about is me lying in the dark, listening to audiobooks. So do with that what you will. That's the Marquis du Sade's book, right? Yes, correct. And did you catch that last basho? Oh, we're gonna get to it. But so I read Devil House, and Devil House is really interesting, right? Devil House is about this true crime author, and he's done one big story and had huge success with it. He wrote a book on this case called The Case of the White Witch, which is about this like high school teacher who like murders 2 of her students. And there's a lot of nuance to the case, and it's kind of weird. And it's about him trying to follow up that book with a second book called Devil House. And Devil House is the story of these like teenagers who basically started living in an old porn store and made a cult and murdered 2 people. Or at least that's what you think it's about, right? And I would say that this book is a bit of a slow burn in that you don't really know where it's going for a long time. But the thing that I think lets it be that is that the writing is actually really good. His prose, his descriptive passages, his dialogue, it's all great. there's literally one page where this motherfucker is just like describing a plate of fish and chips, and he describes the fish and the potatoes with such just beautiful clarity that it was like my favorite part of the whole book. And so like it was a really, really entertaining read. But then, and I'm not going to get into spoilers, but at some point, I want to say this just because I want to give people the context to understand why I thought this was a good book and like why it's worth sticking with. At some point, he gets a letter. I'm not going to say what the letter is, but there was all these strange aspects I didn't really understand about the book. Like the way this writer is kind of handling things. So like one thing he does, he buys Devil House. He buys this old pornography store and basically like starts turning it back into the house that the cult members made. And he gets really obsessive and weird with it. And you're like, why is this happening? He gets this letter. He reads the letter. And what is in that letter absolutely justifies the rest of that book. And it's like fucking... I had to like put it down and I was like, oh my god. Like it actually got to me. And it like in ways that I don't want to say, it kind of relates to what I do a little bit. And it genuinely like fucked me up. It's a horror book in places. Like there are parts where it gets violent and where it gets bloody. But I think what it really is this really interesting examination of the true crime genre. And there was definitely parts of it where I was kind of left swinging in the wind a little bit. And I was like, I don't know that I want to continue with this because even though it's good, it's so slow. I am so glad I did because the way it all ties together at the end was just beautiful. Really, really good read. I would say one of my favorite books I've read this year. Excuse me. I would give it a 5 out of 7. 5 out of 7. Fantastic book. If you like horror, if you like true crime, if you like just good writing, great book. Guys, I played Donkey Kong Country 2. I did not finish this game, but I played enough of it to reawaken the old feelings. And look, Shigeru Miyamoto once said that Donkey Kong Country is proof that people love aesthetic over gameplay, which I always saw as kind of a dig at the Donkey Kong series. And after replaying Donkey Kong Country 2, I actually think he's right. But I also don't think it's a negative anymore. I think Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, is an absolutely beautiful fucking video game. I think it's like just aesthetically, like atmosphere-wise, soundtrack-wise, I really don't know if there's anything else on the Super Nintendo that comes close to that game. Are there better video games on the Super Nintendo? Yeah, I think there are. I think Super Mario World, I think Yoshi's Island, I think like they both gameplay-wise do a little bit run rings out of Donkey Kong Country 2. Like, what Donkey Kong Country 2 isn't is like, it's not the kind of game that gives you a tool set and lets you solve problems yourself. It is a game where you have to find the prescribed path through its platforming puzzles and master them to the point you can progress. And there's secrets to find. There's like non-linear stuff in the levels to discover. But for the most part, you're going to be playing Donkey Kong Country 2 the exact way its designers want you to play that game. And I think it's a good version of that. I think that's like enjoyable. I think that's fun. But yeah, there's not a lot of freedom. There's not a lot of room for player expression. And it doesn't matter because I think that game's like an aesthetic fucking masterpiece. Like, I think it's just a beautiful looking and sounding video game. And it has so much personality. Every enemy, every sprite, all the characters, everything down to like how when you like get the bonus item at the end of every level, Diddy Kong will whip out like a boombox and he'll like party to it. Dixie will take out a guitar and do like a sick guitar solo. It's so fucking good. It's just awesome. And like, I also think it has like maybe the best song maybe the best song in video game history, Sticker Brush Symphony. There was a Donkey Kong Country 2 at the last GDCQ. That's so cool. Johnny Bird played the Battletoads game. I've played the Super Nintendo one. I've never played the original. Let's stick on Sticker Brush Symphony for a bit here. Okay, let's just fucking vibe for a second here. Okay, let me know if you can hear this chat. Playing now. You guys can hear that? Fucking, I mean, come on. So the crazy part is, like, that song, like, that was just something they kind of had left over at the end of the soundtrack. And so they decided to put it on Bramble Blast, one of the hardest levels. And then when they did, it's like, okay, cool. This peaceful ass song makes this infuriating level more tolerable. You know? And like, even the guy who did it, was it Grant Kirkhope or was it the other guy? I can never remember. Chat, tell me in a second. Like, he's not even that impressed by that song. He's like, yeah, I don't know why people have latched onto this song so hard. Motherfucker, it's because you accidentally made one of the greatest pieces of music of all time. David Wise. Sorry, Kirkhope was a different thing. Aquatic Ambience from DK1 versus Sticker Brush is so hard. It is. After listening to both for like 30 years, to me, it is Sticker Brush. It is Sticker Brush Symphony. And yeah, I just feel like there was so few games that have that level of atmosphere. I'd put like Secret of Mana kind of up there.
Green Tube Gaming.
Yeah.
Have I made it in time for Sumo Talk?
We will get to Sumo Talk. So yeah, I replayed Diddy's Conquest, and I would say, like, that's another 6 out of 7 for me. I know some people are going to think that's high, especially considering I gave Link to the Past 6 out of 7 as well. I don't care. I am giving those two games 6 out of 7 for entirely different reasons, and I love them both equally. And you know what? I'll say, out of the two games, I would say Donkey Kong Country 2 has aged better, I would say. I would honestly say that, which I know is blasphemy to some, but it's my truth. Chat, it's my truth. Okay. Guys, we need to have a talk. Because I also watched the first 7 episodes of Rent a Girlfriend. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to know. Because I wanted to know. I'm sick of seeing this thing on my timeline. I had to know what this was. I had to know what one of the biggest manga of the modern era is. That's why. That's why. And I will say that the people who get angry at Rent a Girlfriend every week, you have only yourselves to blame, because shit was never good. The guys, what are we doing? How did we let... Excuse me. Oh no, not a giant bomb raid as I'm talking about Rent a Girlfriend. Oh jeez. Oh no. That's unfortunate. Yeah, no, look, guys, legitimately, I didn't think this was good at all. I thought there was nothing to like about this thing. I thought that this is some of, like, the lamest ass character writing I have seen in, like, forever. The protagonist of Rent a Girlfriend is the biggest fucking weenie I have ever every fucking episode. This motherfucker is like, oh, I'm such a loser. No, oh. And it's like, it's this thing, and this is like a fantasy I see, like, with, like, I would say dudes in their teens. Not all dudes in their teens. Absolutely not all dudes in their teens. But there's, like, this thing where, like, guys in their teens want people to feel sorry for them, and that sympathy is validation. It's so sad, you know? And it's like, no character in this acts like a character. It's like their motivations, their feelings just kind of flip-flop into whatever the current, like, plot requires. And I felt like I hate saying this shit because so much of, you know, a lot of the time when I talk about media, I just mostly like to talk about shit I like, and I definitely never want to shit on something someone else likes. I just thought Rent a Girlfriend was kind of pathetic. You know, it was like a kind of just pathetic story. And, you know, it's like, yeah, it's the title. It's about this dude, and he rents a girlfriend because he's sad about his real girlfriend breaking up with him. And it's like, there's a bunch of, like, fan service and stuff with it. But look, like, listen, here's what I'll say. The fan service, like, doesn't bother me. I'm not immune to titty anime. I'm not immune to some hot dude anime. I like it all. I'll scoop it all in my bowl and I'll eat it, goddammit. But you should ask for more from your smut. You should ask for better. And this is so bad. This is like, it's like just empty-headed fucking nothing. You know what I mean? And, like, okay, look, positives. The one positive I could say is the pages I've seen from the manga, that dude can really fucking draw. And the anime looks nice. These are some, like, nice waifu designs if you like that kind of shit. But there's nothing else here. There's nothing. And it's like, I worry that young dudes will read this and think that this is what women are like, you know? And I'm not trying to, like, shame anyone, you know? Like, I get that there is, like, a lot of young dudes out there who feel lost and lonely and stuff. This is not the answer, you know? It's really, really not. And I struggled with it for, like, 7 to 8 episodes. I don't know how much I watched. And it just felt like empty fucking calories, you know? Like, not even in, like, a fun way. I was just waiting for the episodes to end, and man, yeah. So, Rent a Girlfriend, 2 out of 7. It looks nice. It does look nice. I did not connect with this shit at all. Yeah, the manga reeks of incel. Okay, look, like, I don't want to just shit on, like, people who do enjoy it. Like, I really don't. I genuinely just want to say to those people, there is better shit than this. There is better smut than this. Like, there is legit just better shit you could be reading. I did like click on one video which was like Rent a Piece is or Rent a Girlfriend is a masterpiece, and I was like, okay, I'll read this. And then he was like, I have been reading Rent a Girlfriend since it first came out when I was 13, and that's when I was like, oh, that's why you think this is good. But yeah, no, it was bad. John, can you recommend better smut for us, please? No, because whatever smut I recommend, people are gonna run with. So no. I'm sorry, no. Can be a virgin and still have self-respect, for fuck's sake. I guess that's the thing that like bothered me about it. It's like the main character's whole thing is like, oh, I'm a virgin, no one will sleep with me. And it's like, look, if it's cool. You like just because you haven't fucked anyone doesn't mean you're any less of a person, doesn't mean you're not attractive, doesn't mean you can't be cool and interesting and like take other people's feelings into account and like learn. Like, it's like someone being a virgin, it's not a knock on them, it just means that they haven't arrived at a situation where they can have sex with someone. You know what I mean? Or that they want to have sex with someone. Like, it's not a big fucking deal, you know? It's just, and I think what I hate about this show is that I feel like there's a way that this show makes people lonelier and frames like being a virgin or just not having connected with someone as like a reason to feel shitty. And like, you know, I was there at one point when I was like 14 years old. I had like the worst fucking acne. I had such terrible acne, and like it was like all over my face, like completely, you know. And when I look back at that now, the problem wasn't necessarily that like I was too ugly and no one would date me. It was that being self-conscious about that robbed me of any confidence or any charisma I could have had, you know. And then you know, eventually like the acne cleared up and like I did, you know, start getting attention from girls and occasional boys, and that like I still like, it took me a while to just learn how to talk to them like with confidence, you know. And I feel like a show like Rent a Girlfriend is like designed to make young dudes think that women are like a fucking Rubik's Cube that you solve. You know what I mean? When in actuality, like, this gets into like whole other territory, which I'm like, don't want to get into. But I genuinely think like if you just learn to talk to women and be comfortable around them, that is going to benefit you so much more than this weird fucking alien ass mindset that this show is built around. Oh yeah. You know what? Watch American Pie. I watched the original American Pie recently, and that is actually a genuinely good film. It has empathy, and like, it's actually like kind of, except the part where he fucks a pie. But he only fucks the pie because he's lonely. But it actually goes places and has like valuable things to say about sex. Moving on. Moving on, everybody. Yeah. I had anxiety and self-image issues because it had anxiety and self-image issues because of it for so long time. Then after I'd sex, I realized just this socially anxious and wanted only to be with someone who liked me. Yeah, like, here's the thing. Like, and I know like there's someone like who feel like super self-conscious about this stuff. I don't want to get like super into it, that you will have sex for the first time and realize that none of your problems are solved. You know, it doesn't change anything about you. And ultimately, like, you just need to focus on yourself and focus on being the person you want to become and how to turn into that. And like, yeah, get in shape, like, you know, learn how to style yourself, like, acting, like, learn to communicate in an open way that makes people want to be around you. And that is really not what Rent a Girlfriend's about. Anyway, Anyway, moving on. Get an eye patch. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched the Sumo Basho, the July Sumo Basho, and let me tell you, edge of my fucking seat. Hey John, did you ever read the comic Black Sad from Korean Man 76? I never have, but I want to. And holy fucking shit, I'm actually not going to spend too long on this because look, you guys have known for a while, a Sumo Basho video is coming. I am going to make one eventually. I have not started. I am currently working on the new video, which is about the Silent Hill movies, which I've been on for ages now, and I'm going to get that done. Then there's another video I want to make, and I also want to make the Sumo Basho, hoping to get both done by the end of the year. We'll see. We'll see. But holy fucking shit, guys. Sumo is so legit. Sumo is goddamn incredible, and this might have been my favorite Basho. There was so many amazing stories that unfolded over the course of this, and I could go into it, but I just want to say, Sumo, I'm in. Video is inevitable at this point. Loved it. Excuse me. Guys, I started watching Attack on Titan again. That's right. After threatening to pick back up Attack on Titan, I did it. Did you ever finish it? No, I got halfway through season 2 and I stopped watching it. And look, here's what I'll say. I know there's a bunch of shit about Attack on Titan, and I will form a more coherent opinion on Attack on Titan when I have finished it. I will say, for the most part, I am having a great time with Attack on Titan. I kind of see Attack on Titan like I see Fast and the Furious, in that I don't take it very seriously, but I have a wonderful time when I'm watching it. I think for the most part, I just love the action and the aesthetics of the Titans. I think the Titans are genuinely brilliant. I love them as monsters. I love the mystery surrounding them. I love how they move. I love their faces. I love seeing them. As someone who loves horror and has a special place in their heart for monster horror, the Titans are just top tier fucking monsters. And I would also say, like, the cast, I don't think that, like, character writing in Attack on Titan is particularly great. I think it's sometimes you can really see the author, like, flipping around character motivations in a way that's kind of silly. And I would say Reiner, particularly, like, the whole split personality side of Reiner is so dumb. And it's so, like, okay, we needed Reiner to be this here and this here. This makes no sense. Split personality. You know? And, John, you didn't say no spoilers. Look, I have given minimum. I haven't said anything. I've just, yeah. I really want to see John's reaction to the basement. I do actually know what's in the basement. They're basically just big zombies, but it's cool. No, they're not big zombies. They're not. They're better than that. They're better than that. John, can you explain to us the appeal of Attack on Titan? I mean, like, to me, the appeal is it's quite simple for me in a lot of ways, in that just I think like that, like, it's a show with a really tight aesthetic. It knows exactly what its world is, and I think that the just, like, it's not even that it's animated well, even though it's animated incredibly well and has, like, great action scenes, but just, like, the way it's able to inject action that feels completely unlike any other anime is like great. Like, it's not Dragon Ball Z fighting, it's not Naruto ninja battles, it's not like anime sword fights. It's this complete like different and unique thing in a way that like I have really, really been enjoying. And look, I know people like have all kinds of shit to say about like where the story goes and the ending, and like apparently gets a little nationalistic and stuff, and like I can feel parts of that in the story, but like I can't really have an opinion on that just because I'm not there yet. I'll do, when I finish Attack on Titan, I'll do a full, probably regular Eye Patch Wolf video about it. But I also think that it's like it's also like, I think what it does very well, you know? And I would say even the characters, even though I think like the character writing isn't always the strongest, it is good at being like, okay, here's this character, here's their thing, this is the thing they do, and this is what makes them cool. And it's like, okay, Levi, really fun character. Erwin, really fun character. Mikasa, really fun character. Annie, really fun character. You know, it's like there are just a lot of really simple, dumb characters to have a great time with. And yeah, like I've been having just a really fun time watching it. I watch like an episode every night, and I guess it helps that I'm watching it with Michelle, who is obviously just like a blast to watch anime with. And yeah, I'm having fun with it. The show needs more Annie for sure. And like I like the girl who eats a lot. I like Kanji, the scientist lady, and it's just I have fun with it. I did just finish like the kind of non-Titan arc with Kenny, and I would say I thought Kenny was like a super weak villain. Really, really did not enjoy him. But yeah, you know what? I had a great time with it, and like I don't have anything too interesting to say, partially just because like I haven't finished it. But yeah, I was really, really enjoying it. Sasha, yep, that's the one. Did you watch FD Signifier is watching over your shoulder, isn't he? No, I do wanna give Feek a shout though, because I wanna jump on a call and talk Attack on Titan with him. We love Potato Girl in this household. She's, yeah. But yeah, and I like Krista. Krista's fun. I like her. And Ymir, Krista and Ymir. Come on, that's just some good shit, everybody. That's great. But yeah, no, I will give my full thoughts when I watch the whole thing. So yeah, that is pretty much all the media I consumed, or at least could consume. I'm watching the G1, the New Japan G1, and that's been fun. New Japan's in a weird place. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I'm not going to get super into it because I want to do a regular video on that as well. But yeah, it's good. Oh, bonus, checked out a couple of episodes of Chain Smoking Cat. That's a gross fucking show. That's a really weird, really gross show, and I think I like it. It is absolutely not for everyone, but it was. I don't know, like that. It's a real like toilet humor ass show. But I think I just like how itself it is. It's like it's purposely not trying to appeal to people. And I respect that no other anime really feels like that. You know, like it feels horrible. And the characters, like, they're so unappealing and awful, but in a way that I find endearing. But yeah, I think I need to watch a bit more of that. Attack on Titan rating 5 out of 7, I would say. Really, I do just think that show has an appeal. I find it entertaining. What can I tell you? BoJack Horseman asks Catgirl. It throws bullshit in your face without looking back. It absolutely does. And in the scant few moments that it tries to get emotional, I think it kind of nails it as well. I've only watched like 3 episodes, but I've been having a good time with it. Feels like an Adult Swim show. It kind of does, but like there's a griminess to that show that I get from like virtually no anime nowadays, and I appreciate that. Like I enjoy that, you know what I mean? You're selling me hard on this. Okay, look, what I'll say is that if you watch the first episode, if you watch the first 5 minutes of Chainsmoking Cat and you're like, this is not fucking for me, my response to that is absolutely valid call. You will know immediately if this is something you're going to like or not. And so, yeah, I think that's about everything that... Oh, bonus one as well. Young ladies don't play fighting games. Can't rate it yet because I haven't watched enough. Top tier adaptation. So fucking delighted with that thing. Want to watch more and talk about it more. But young ladies don't play fighting games. Elite young ladies school for privileged young women. 2 of the girls there are actually fighting game fiends in secret. They discover that they both love fighting games. They start playing with each other at night. Kind of gay, kind of great. Could not recommend enough from the first 2 episodes. Want to watch more. And yeah, that's it. That is my roundup of the media I experienced while my eye was exploding. So I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, before we move on here, I have a little bit of an announcement, but I just want to get to some subscriptions. Serious Pachon, thank you for the subscription. Bird Brainless, thank you for the $10 super chat. Once for positive vibes, say thank you. Fallen FJD, Corsair 6, TRM246, Me Amazon, thank you for the subscription. The Stunner, Thalig 18, thank you for the subscription. Feel better, John. I had surgery for a shattered elbow last week, and they had to use cadaver bone. That's crazy. Holy shit. Saffron_Khan, thank you for the subscription. Hello, Mr. iPatchWolf. Hope your recovery is going well. I've been watching your Fear and Hunger videos again. What an incredible game. I will never play, but I have you to play it for me. Absolutely, sir. Or ma'am. Or non-binary. Then person drifts trip. Thank you for the subscription. Jigaro. Thank you for the subscription. Bird Brainless, thank you for the super chat. Imagine if one of your doctors asked you, what are you, Super iPatchWolf? So that actually happened to me yesterday. I went to the optometrist. Oh, I've accidentally boosted myself. I went to the optometrist and I was like, and the guy was like, oh, hey. And I was like, hello. And he just goes, my girlfriend watches your videos. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He was a very nice young man. Roots SP1, thank you for the subscription. The Stunt Lady, thank you for the subscription. Welcome back, John. Thank you. The Better Bard, thank you for the subscription. The Worst Idea, thank you for the subscription. Mothman Kisser 69, still my favorite subscriber name. Big recommend if you enjoyed Devil House. I highly recommend the other book, White Fan. I might check it out at some point. Right now I'm reading Blood Meridian, which I feel very mixed on at the moment. And Green Lunatic Gaming, have I made it in time for Sumo Talk? I believe you had. Breenman76, Skyrider9532. Any chance you've checked out with Chat Telly? Not yet, but I will. And Crowbar182. Thank you for the subscription. Okay, guys.
CR0bar182.
There is something I want to talk about. A little goings on that I want to cover. And I've talked about this a little bit on social media, but I kind of want to address it here.
_rats_kissing.
I want to talk about the iPatchWolves comic because there has been some developments. And the development is that the company that I partnered with to do the iPatchWolves comic, Storygrounds, has unfortunately gone under. And they were a startup company, ran out of funding, and it's over for them, which really sucks because I want to give them like my take on like a few different things here. One, I kind of saw people speculating about Storygrounds and like kind of what happened with it, and I will tell you really, really simply what happened. Storygrounds' whole kind of thing was that they wanted to become the webtoons of like the West. And in that, they wanted to create a platform where different people could like fund their own like comic series, where like artists and writers and letterers and everyone could come together, basically get paid and basically become a kind of like Netflix-y-ish platform. And that was actually going really well for them for a while. And what happened to them is AI. And when I say what happened to them is AI, what I mean is 3 years ago, what seemed like a really good plan for basically this idea of like this kind of new Western webtoon thing, it was very easy to get investment for it because it made sense. It was like good. It's like, yeah, look at this model succeeding over, you know, in China or Korea or like all these places where there's all this like incredible revenue where like, you know, artists can make money off this shit. We should be doing that here. And that was like, I think that's like a very, very solid kind of pitch. And so when they contacted me, like initially they contacted me, like, we want to work with you to create a comic. And my initial thought was like, no fucking way. It's like, I'm not doing that. That's way too much work. And then they got in, then like I actually met with them and I was really impressed with like how much they actually seemed to be kind of like trying with it, and how they were like, look, we will let you pick an artist, we will let you pick a writer, we will not give you any creative guidelines, and you can just do what you want, you know? And I was like, okay, so I kind of went forward with it, and I was like, this is great. And it was great.
That's right, boys.
Like, the
Mondo Cool.
experience of working with Storygrounds was really fantastic for me. And basically then, while still in the startup phase, they wanted to like, you know, do new rounds of funding, and they found that very quickly, as the entire fucking industry of investing became centered around AI, there was nothing left for them to get. All of a sudden, everything was consumed by this AI horseshit. And it fucking sucks, because it's like, this is a part of AI that like people don't talk about, whereas like actual businesses, until the bubble bursts, they have just kind of been left to wither and die. And it just fucking, it really, really sucks. And I feel so bad for everyone at Storygrounds, because, you know, a lot of people are kind of losing their jobs over this. A lot of people are left out in the cold. And from, like, I can't speak to, like, what kind of, like, I guess, relationship other people have had. But for my part, like, everything I've done with Storygrounds, like, they've just been really concerned with just making like a good ass story and getting the best people in place to do it. It wasn't all smooth, but like it all worked out, and like I'm really super fucking proud of the comic we made. And it's a real bummer to me that that comic isn't going to have a home anymore. And so the question now is like, okay, well, where do we go from here? And the good news is that because Storygrounds, like, this is how stand-up Storygrounds have been with me, all right? Storygrounds is actually going, like, out of, like, it's shutting down tomorrow. Like, it is done tomorrow. And so far, we have released 19 chapters of Eye Patch Wolves. But because, like, they were straight up and they paid all the artists, like, ahead of time, there's actually an additional 6 chapters of Eye Patch Wolves that's, like, already in production. And they're just not going to exist on Storygrounds, but Storygrounds is still, like, waiting for them. And we've actually published our most recent chapter, which is, like, my favorite chapter we've ever done. And unfortunately, it's just not going to be available after tomorrow. But it's hard to say for definite what's happening, but I have taken some meetings about, like, different things we can do with the comic and different places we can land it. Unfortunately, I don't want to say too much right now, and I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but right now, it really looks like we are going to find a new home for it, and that we're going to be able to keep going into a season 2, which I'm fucking delighted about, because from my point of view, writing the Eye Patch Wolves comic has been, like, one of the most creatively fulfilling things I have ever done. Absolutely fucking love working on it, and I want to keep going on it. And I want to do more shit. Like, you know, I have figured out that I really love creative writing, and that's just something I want to do more of. Like, you guys will not be surprised when I say that I have another book in the works that is completely different from the bizarre world of fake video games. Totally different thing altogether, and I'm so excited to reveal more about that, and I will in the next video. But for now, I'm kind of in this difficult place because to me, the best chapter of Eyepatch Wolves has just released, and it's going to disappear tomorrow. So to preserve it and to make it so that people can actually experience a little bit of this thing before we kind of go here, I want to actually do a live read of the most recent chapter on this stream. Just because I think this will be fun. So glad we got the damage fight though. That is exactly what I want to cover. Okay, so one of my favorite characters is Damage, and I'll show you guys Damage. Damage got her own t-shirt a little while ago. Just pull up. Here we go. This is Damage, this character here. And I always kind of thought of Eyepatch Wolves as basically a fake fighting game. And Damage to me, she was never the M. Bison, but she's the Sagat. She is the kind of, she is a boss of that game. And I mean, you can see her, her influences, Imploding Shield, Nightmare Eradicator, Head of the Table. Did some of these age poorly? I would say so. Am I any less proud of this character? No, absolutely not. I wanted her to be the leader of this 3-person faction with Ghost and Impact. And I just fucking love Damage so much. She's such a fun character. And we had a trailer for Damage. Let me see if I... And I basically wanted her to be the person who comes into this story halfway through and basically rocks Crow's fucking world. Our main character, she basically takes her and just decimates her and really destroys her confidence in herself. And I wanted it to be this really brutal, really kind of horrible fight. Sorry, it's hard to see. Yes, okay, it was this trailer. This was a trailer we did for one of the merch collections. There's my girl. And so that's all we were able to do. Just, a really limited little trailer where you see Crow's already been beaten up. and it's like you see Damage standing over her, and it's like that was such a fucking. Even then, I was so proud of that trailer. Now we started doing like way more with the trailers after this, but like I'm still so proud of this trailer. I love it so much. And what was really cool about being able to work like with the Storyground stuff is we're able to basically do that fight. We're able to basically show people how that went. And oh man, I fucking love doing it so much. So a bunch of shit happens. But it's like she goes to her like local sushi stand, and King, like this little dude here, King's like, "Hey kid, the usual, right?" And she's like, "Yo King, I don't know, I feel like something different today. Let me get Then from behind her, oh, the Damage. King's like, oh, I love this drawing so much. I saw this and I was like, oh, that's so cute. This place looks great. Got an Rex. And at this point, Crow has already heard of Damage, and Wolf has been like, stay away from this fucking woman. Like, Crow, and she's like, damn it. Boom! Fucking just gets leveled, explodes out of the noodle stand, hits the ground. Ghost tells me you're pretty strong. Should be fun. And so that was the end of chapter 18. And this is, I wanted to do this. This is at the end of every like chapter, we had like a little side comic, and I wanted to use these to show like different sides of like the characters. And so for this, we had Damage, Ghost, and Impact. This is a faction known as the Kings of Violence, and they're real fucked up, they're real badasses, and I really wanted to do them just like going to the aquarium and having a good time. So like Damage is like, oh, this is fucking boring, I don't know about this. And then Impact and Ghost are really into it, and she's like, this fucking sucks. And she looks at the fish and she's like, well, holy shit. And then they all love the aquarium. And I don't know, I just thought that was fun. Chapter. He's like, what was that? I feel like I just got smashed by a meteorite. She cracks her knuckles. Oh good, you're not dead. Atta girl. We don't want this to be over before it starts now, do we? I don't know what this is about, but you're about to make me break a promise to my best friend. You're really gonna regret that. So she promised Wolf before that she wasn't gonna fight Damage. On. Goes and she tries to hit her. Tries to hit her. It's not working. Oh, hell yeah, you are good. God damn, what are these reactions? It's like you know what I'm gonna do before I do. She stomps on her toe, rears back, and fucking smashes her with a headbutt. God, that lettering looks so good. And it's like she actually hits her. So this is a move that Crow has like used before to beat someone, and I kind of wanted her to use like her finisher and for it to have like no effect. And Damage is just like, huh? He's like, damn, that was pretty good. But a word of advice, with a move like that, you don't want to aim for the forehead. No, you want to hit them right in the mush in the center of their face. You know, where all the soft tissue and nerve endings are. She grabs Crow here, and she leans back like this. And if you've ever gotten headbutted, you will know how much worse it hurts to get headbutted like in the center of the face as opposed to the forehead. I say that from personal experience, and it was cool to be able to write that. So she rears back and she's like, fuck. And she's like, this is the first time Crow looks kind of scared. This is like chapter 19. Crow's had a bunch of fights up until this, but like I wanted this to be like, I wanted this to feel like different and wrong. Oh, don't worry. That's nothing a little trip to the dentist won't fix. And so she starts trying to fight back, and boom! Oh man, I saw the inks for this panel, and I was like, God damn, that hurt. That looks like it hurts so bad. And you can see like she's kind of out of it, and she tries to kick her. She gets an elbow to the face, and she falls over. And it's like all Crow's fights have been kind of even. This feels fucked up, and then a little drop of rain hits the pavement, and the entire color palette of the fight changes. It stops being like warm colors and like exciting, and it goes cold and sterile. She starts kicking her while she's down, and she's looking at her, and Crow gets back up. And I saw this panel, and I felt like sympathy for Crow. When we got this art back, I was like, sucks, you know? And that was like, really, that's when I was like, okay, we're doing it. And she's like, God damn, this feels so good. You know how rare it is I get to go all out like this? You know what it's like to be able to shatter everything around you but constantly have to hold back? All my life I've been living in a world of fucking glass and she's just wailing on her. But you can take it. When it's you, I can just let it all. God, it feels incredible. Come on, you gotta do more than that. Doesn't matter how fast you are if you just keep coming at me with the same basic shit. I don't need crazy reactions to know that what you're going to do next because I understand you. Come on, surprise me. Show me something. Crow gets pissed off. She launches a big kick and bam. Damage just slams her with an elbow. We get the x-ray shot and we see her shin shattering. And she just gets aura'd to fucking hell. Come on now, get up. And she tries to grab her. What, are you fucking done already? That's it? That's all you are? And she starts cracking the mask, and if you look in the t-shirt, she also has the broken mask. That's how like far back this t-shirt came out, like 2 years ago. That's how far like this whole story has existed. She dropped the mask, and that's it. That's all you got, like everyone else. Then we hear from off screen, I think you got her, boss, and she looks back and it's Impact and Ghost. These are like her two teammates. Contract said kill, incapacitate, not kill. I don't feel like dealing with the extra paperwork. Ghost is like, oh jeez, it did, because Ghost tried to kill Crow before. And then we say, it's okay, my child. Mother Kathy will take care of you. This is something we're seeing from Crow's perspective. Mother Kathy, everybody. This is a long-term glance of where the story goes in the future. And look, you may notice certain things about this character if you've been a follower of the streams for a long while. And this is where she exists now. This is what's happening. And I am very excited to bring her more into this. Damage is like, you actually lost to this Ghost? And Ghost is like, ma'am, I'm sorry, I'll do better next time. Whatever. You both are buying the first round tonight, drinks tonight. Let's go get shit-faced so tonight isn't total lost. And Crow's like, Wolf, help. And we see Wolf off in Zero Tower. This is Snipe, who will soon be getting her own t-shirt. Zero will see you now. Waiting. Take me to him. And that, unfortunately, is the last chapter that's available on Storygrounds. We will be finding a new home to it, because I fucking love writing that comic. It's so much fun, and I just want to thank everyone who, like, you know, showed up and supported it. But that's kind of what's happening right now, and yeah, it's tough, but I'm also delighted I got to do as much of it as we did, and we will be doing more. I actually just want to show the comic here. 0 Day Upper Management Company Retreat for Relaxation and Mindfulness. This is Zero, one of the bad guys, and his assistant, well, his business partner, Snipe. That's just... This is by Brobex, who's just so fucking good. What a great company retreat. Yes. But yeah, guys, my eye is starting to hurt, so I'm going to end the stream there. But yeah, listen, guys, thanks everyone for the support. We're going to be back to doing full streams next week, and I had a lot of fun doing this again, so thanks everyone. And I'm going to be getting back to work and making videos and making different stuff now, but I'm also going to take care of myself and make sure that I don't go completely blind. But yeah, guys, listen, love you. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.